Okay, Marie, we're going to make a little last thing. Are we running? Okay, hey. Good evening, good evening. It's HMKV speaking from the lower orbit. And it's super crowded. We are here in the opening of House of Mirrors, Artificial Intelligence as Phantasm. And we are going to give you a quick tour of the exhibition. It's impossible, but anyway, we'll try. Marie Lechner from Paris, Francis Hunger from Leipzig, and me, it's Inke, and we are going to give you a very quick and entertaining tour of this big exhibition. And there's so many people, it's so crowded, we have a huge party, and that's why we are wearing masks. Okay, let's go. Okay, maybe to give a quick introduction to this piece. So this is the engineer's dream. So maybe we should first say something about the exhibition.
Yeah, that's good.
So we hate the notion of artificial intelligence. We really prefer to speak about pattern recognition, because this is what this is all about. It's about a machine recognizing patterns that we have taught it beforehand. So, and that's also a problem, because the machine in that sense is very biased, let's say. So there's empty spaces, but also there's a lot of bias introduced in the machine, and that's a problem. So that's it's a big topic in the exhibition. We subdivided the exhibition into 7 chapters, 7 rooms, and we are here now in the first room, which is really about, let's say, the fantasy of total automatization of the society. And this is a piece by 3 philosophers and artists, Noguès, Wagon and Dégoûtin, from France, from Paris, and this is called Welcome to Yerevan. And this is about the society of total automation. It's of course a reference to Samuel Butler's Welcome to Yerevan, or the Yerevan novel. But they kind of develop in 11 chapters. They develop basically a narrative about a world of total automatization. And what is interesting in this work is that they use found footage. So basically they describe our world that is already taking place nowadays. So that's actually a chair that you hear moving. It's nothing to do with the work. Okay, let's maybe move on and just... We also have a Chinese artificial intelligence-driven newscaster. It's the master algorithm by Zheng Mala from Hong Kong, which is talking about tomorrow's news, which are generated by an artificial intelligence. It's a really amazing installation because it's generated by those 9 ventilators. It's the holographic ventilators or fans, which create a very kind of immaterial image. Especially put on this jacket so the camera can see me, right? So we are still in this first chapter, and I will give the word to Marie in just a second. This first chapter of, you know, this fantasy of total automation, and let's speak about this work by Nicolas Gouraud.
So this is a work about the dream of the autonomous, the self-driving car. That is an old phantasm that is always postponed. It starts with the tragic death of Ellen Eckberg, that was hit by Uber autonomous car, and this is the first death by a self-driving car. And Nicolas is introducing us to this strange job of vehicle operators, which are the humans that are teaching those cars and correcting the trajectory or etc. And so it's a work that is also asking the question of responsibility, which means who is responsible of the death of Ellen Eckberg? Is it the program of the autonomous car? Is it the vehicle operator that was watching Netflix movie instead of doing his job, or was it the this is something that we really want to address, is who is responsible of these autonomous systems that we are right now building.
Okay, wonderful. Let's continue to Simon Nikhil. Okay, would you like to?
Go.
Okay. So, no, actually, there's still the second room, or now we are in the second room, actually. This is a piece by Simon Nikhil, and it's called Sorting Song. It's a children's song, and it's all about this question of how do we know, for example, that a chair is a chair? Because this is something we have to teach the artificial intelligence, because artificial intelligence obviously is not intelligent by itself, but we have to teach it everything it knows about the world. So in a chair, depending on the situation, like you can sit on it, but obviously it's not a chair, right? Yeah, thank you very much, Marie. So do we define a chair by its shape or by the action it allows? And so this children's song is really a lot about this, you know, how do we define our categories, and how do we have to define the categories for the machine? Because the machine is very static, it cannot judge depending on the situation. So it's very, very, it's like written in stone in a way. So, and this is what this work is about, and we think it's a great work, and we have lots of stones and little children chairs here for you, for us. Okay, let's continue.
So in this room we have a work by Anna Riddler. It's called Laws of Ordered Form, and it is about categorization in two different ways. So first of all, we see her here doing the actual work of creating a data set. So she is scanning pictures, she is cutting them, she's editing them, and she puts labels on the pictures in order to prepare them for artificial neural networks, so they can compute the meaning of the labels. And this is one part. And then these are specific pictures. They are from old encyclopedias, and this is what we see here. And maybe you come around with me and we look from this direction. And here are some of these pictures laid out and put into categories. And we see that these categories are not clean distinctions. For instance, like this it is sort of an iceberg, but it's not only an iceberg. So humans are thinking in categories, but these are not sharp distinctions. However, if we want to compute them in artificial intelligence, usually they are very sharp, and so it is difficult, and it's playing in the same theme as Simon Kiel's work. How sharp is categorization, and what is it?
Okay, let's continue to room number 3. Marie, maybe you...
Julien Prégue's artwork called Where is My Deep Mind? Name of work on deep learning. And it's about machine learning experiments that he made human performers. He made them replay these experiments. And he wants us to show how the problem is not so much machine becoming intelligent than humans becoming more and more like machines. And so this work is addressing a little bit this question.
Great.
So let's continue. We are now in the 4th room, which is all about, it's the cabinet of artificial intelligence. So this is not a mistake, but this is a term that was coined by Amazon actually. Amazon some like 10 years ago created this online platform for micro work, where people could, make some little work for micro tasks and get micro payments. For tasks, where didn't make sense to involve artificial intelligence, so those tasks would be carried out by humans. So this room we are entering now, it's all about fake artificial intelligence. So this installation, and I'm going to give the word also over to Marie, this installation by Ribbon from Paris is all about human computers. So it's really about the history of automatization of society. On 12 tables you can use an audio guide that will guide you around the history of automatization, during which you have to perform little micro tasks. And can you also win something here? No? Maybe you can make history, you can make history, because this is what Amazon is proposing us. Work hard, have fun, make history. This is actually a slogan you find in the distribution centers of Amazon. Okay.
Yeah. Also this work is all around this automaton, this famous automaton that is the mechanical Turk. Which was a chess player, a mechanical chess player, and very famous people, kings and queens, and even Charles Babbage, the pioneer of computing, they played against this chess automaton, thinking it was a real automaton, but hidden in his gears there was a human who was performing the task. And this mechanical Turk is also the name of the Amazon platform of microwork. And so there is a kind of long history between this first hidden human in the mechanism of the machine and today's microwork that are feeding artificial intelligence.
Good. Let's continue. To this amazing installation by Konrad Weiser, an artist from Cologne. So we are live.
Yeah, maybe you can come a bit closer so we really see the object here. So Konrad Weiser, in his work Human-Driven Condition, which is a new production, he explores the so-called control automation systems, which are mostly used in China, to automate the work of clicking advertisements or scrolling feeds. And here he demonstrates how these are organized in large centers for people to click on stuff, but also how to automate it, so no more people are necessary anymore. And we have the same object here installed with the same technology to show his video essay talking about this point. Okay, so let's go to the next session already. I think that's you.
Okay, some information about Elisa Giardina Papa's work. Elisa Giardina Papa, she's an Italian artist dividing her time between Sicily and New York. And she's actually participating in the Venice Biennial in the main exhibition, so you should really go and check it out. This work is called Cleaning Emotional Data. And Elisa Giardina Papa, she herself worked as a so-called micro worker on one of these platforms. And she really made a research by putting herself in that situation of a micro worker. And her task was to describe images, you know, whether people would be looking happy or sad, or, you know, and you have to perform these image descriptions or annotations in a very short amount of time. And in this installation, she always gives us information about how all these tasks she completed were rewarded. Like one task, you get 15 cents. So this is documented on these 3 videos. Yeah, it's not a lot, I can tell you. Okay, let's continue. Very intimate room. This is a project by Lauren Lee McCarthy, and the project is called Lauren. And maybe, sorry guys, we are back. I hope there's still somebody watching. I feel alone. Maybe you can give me a sign. So we walked through several of the works. We have been to Lauren Lee McCarthy's work, Lauren, where she performs herself as a kind of digital assistant, introducing herself into people's homes, of course with their consent. It was a performance she did, and in the installation it's a documentation of this performance. We also walked past Mushon Zer Aviv's installation Normalizing, which is all about, in a way, judging faces according to how normal you feel those faces are, and so introducing or putting your face into a huge database, a landscape of normalcy. And of course there's this historical reference to Bertillon, obviously the inventor of the so-called mugshot, and it's all about identification, facial identification marks, which later obviously were used for eugenic or racist reasons, or in order to define something called race, which even today can be found in artificial intelligence systems. So right now, maybe Francis, you would like to step in front of the camera.
Yes,
we are standing here.
Let's go a little bit in, I would say, even. Maybe you want to click?
I can operate it.
Yes, you can operate it. Yes, so this is an installation by Elwes called the Zizi Show. And the show consists of him and a group of drag performers, and they have trained their own data set for artificial intelligence visualization. So they use pose detection, that is, they detect a certain body expression and they overlay it with the recorded data set of several drag kings and queens which they created in London during the COVID pandemic. The idea of the artist is to queer the data set to create a kind of alternative. And I think it's also just simply a fun work, and we are really happy to have it here. You can just sit down and click yourself through it and walk through it and see the different performers. I think this specific performer is one of the favorites of many of us. So thank you, Inge, for picking it. Yeah, okay, great. So let's go on to the next room. This is the work exposing.ai, or there are several works around it by Adam Harvey and Jules Laplace. Basically, it refers to the data sets which are used to train neural networks, and especially Adam Harvey is working about face recognition data sets. Maybe we can turn around a little bit. Here we have a general adversarial network which creates new faces out of one of the major data sets for face detection. It's called UCF selfie data set, which is made of selfies of people. And as we will see, Adam Harvey's point is that many of those data sets have been created from images from Flickr or from Instagram, but without the consent of those people who put their image online. So lots of the training happens using data to which there is no consent to be actually used for this thing. And the problem is that it's not only being used for, let's say, civil applications, but for instance also for military applications. There's also a website connected to it where you can Google, not Google, but you can search yourself whether your own images from Instagram or from Flickr have been used in this data set. And here we have another part of the work. You can read it yourself. So the idea is that people just stand here and take a selfie picture and potentially put it online again on this mirror, reading today's selfie is tomorrow's biometric profile. So we are really happy to have this work by Adam here, this exhibition, and now even it is already the next work that we are going to talk about. So this is also a new work which was produced just for this exhibition by Anna Engelhardt. It's called Death Under Computation, and it looks into the history of cybernetics. So cybernetics is one of the scientific fields from which that what we call artificial intelligence today has emerged historically. It was strong in the 1950s, the 1960s, and 1970s, and it was most strong in especially in the US and also in Western Europe. Anna now looks into the history of Russian cybernetics and Russian AI, and she does so by taking two examples. One example is a drone, that one, that was developed in 1960 by the Soviet military, and another example is below here. That's a radar system that would detect incoming missiles and be able to destroy them, ideally, if that would work. And she introduces us to these historical technologies in the form of an essay presenting her research, but also opening a discussion about today's use of military technology. And there's a website where she further continues to talk about this. We are really happy to have this piece here in the show. Yeah, and it's basically a cloth, and it's these 3D holograms projections, which are kind of new projectors. So now the question is, how do we proceed? Because obviously the next work.
Let me take over. Okay. So I just saw. Actually, this is Mushon Zeraviv, who joins us from Tel Aviv, which is super great, and we are super happy to have him here. Also, Anna Engelhardt, I just saw her, but she disappeared again. And now we are approaching the last room of the exhibition, which is actually, we called it Exit Through the Gift Shop. And we decided to have some works towards the end of the exhibition that are a bit more humorous, or let's say a little bit lighter. We unfortunately can't show you the Roomba right now because it's recharging, so we continue. So we have a real vacuum cleaning robot, a Roomba, which is showing pictures, which is showing videos, if it would work, of animals sitting on vacuum cleaning robots driving around the home. So apparently that's a new kind of alliance between robots and animals that is forming currently. So we are closely watching this, and we will keep you updated on any new developments. So let's continue here. Oh, we see Aram Bartol. Aram Bartol sitting in the corner, doing nothing. No, this is actually. No, sorry, I'll first give you some information. This is a video by Sebastian Schmieg. It's a really nice reference to Roomba, because in this video he's basically saying, oh, all those machines around us, they are strategic underperformers. So please, people, relax, and let's just be as good as the machines or as the artificial intelligences around us. So let's just let them do their work, and let's not try to be better than the machine. So calm down. And the last piece of the exhibition is actually Aram Bartol's work. It's a photo studio where you can get your own photo, your portrait done, and then you can choose your favorite emoji, which will be, maybe we can see it here. Choose your favorite emoji, and then the software will cover your face by your favorite emoji, and by that creating a mask which will make it impossible to recognize your face. And you get a printout, and you can take this artwork for free from the exhibition and hang it on your fridge or somewhere in your home. So that was a very quick tour of the exhibition. I hope it was entertaining. I hope the cuts in the connection were not too heavy. I would like to thank the funders of the exhibition. We received a very gracious project funding from the Kulturstiftung des Bundes and the Beauftragte für Kultur und Medien. The HMKV is funded by the Ministry of Culture and Science of the state of North Rhine-Westphalia, and also the Dortmunder U and the city of Dortmund. And we also have a very, very interesting program of events, which will continue until the end of July. And this is funded by the Stiftung Kunstfonds and the Neustart Kultur. So thank you everybody for the funding, but also for your attention. And I hope you come by and you check out the exhibition for real at the HMKV, at the Dortmunder U, in the beautiful city of Dortmund in Germany. So have a good evening. Ciao.